That shortly, but first, these teal independents, the obsessed wealthy greenies who've been backed by Climate 200 convener Simon Holmes à Court, they make me laugh, and they've done so since they were first formed. They scream for political integrity, and yet they won't say which party they're preferencing or which party they'll support if we face a minority government. They scream that more needs to be done on climate change, and yet the world-leading net zero emissions target by 2050, adopted by both major parties, is still not good enough for them. And they scream that they are true independents, and yet they're only running in seats held by Liberal MPs. And many of them are former members of the Labor Party. That's why they make me laugh so much. What a con. And then this weekend, their leader, the only sitting teal independent in the parliament, Zali Steggall, has outdone all their stupidity cumulatively by deciding that former Prime Minister John Howard deserved to be attacked. How dumb would you have to be to attack John Howard? Not even Albo buys into that. He wants to be like John Howard. And talk about punching above your weight. When John Howard became a federal MP in 1975, Zali Steggall was aged 1. John Howard would have forgotten more than what Zali knows about politics and life. But her nasty attack resulted from a speech John Howard delivered yesterday in the Sydney seat of Bennelong, in which he referred to the teal independents. Now, this is the part that Zali took exception to. Please listen carefully, because I can't work out what she's got so upset about.
These men and women are all posing as independents. They're not independents. They're anti-Liberal groupies. They are. They're anti-Liberal. And why do I say that? I say that because they're not running in any Labor seats. If they were genuinely independent, why wouldn't they run a candidate against Anthony Albanese in Grayndler or Tanya Plibersted in Sydney?
You forget how simply and succinctly John Howard explains things. Now, all of that seemed accurate, all of that seemed reasonable, which is what Howard is noted for. He didn't win 4 terms leading the government by luck, but the skier hit Twitter to state the following. Howard slams anti-Liberal groupies. Appalling sexist language by John Howard. It explains a lot of the culture of the Liberal Party and its problem with women. Women in politics shouldn't be denigrated with this type of language. Hashtag enough is enough. Is Zali for real? He began in that sentence there saying the men and women. The men and women are posing as independents. They're anti-Liberal groupies. Men and women. He said men. How in the world can that be appalling sexist behaviour? What, women can only be groupies? Hardly. Zali says it explains a lot about the culture of the Liberal Party. John Howard got out of politics as the party leader in 2007. He's hardly leading the party and the culture. And as for the Liberal Party's problem with women, we're hearing this consistently. There is no doubt that what the Morrison government has achieved for women in this term of government has eclipsed anything any party has even attempted before now. Yes, they were applied pressure. At some stages, they had to be dragged kicking and screaming, but they've actually accomplished more than any other government in the history. A series of high-level individual inquiries were held, an overall review of workplace rules and harassment, and the implementation of many of those recommendations already. And Zali Steggall says enough is enough. Well, for these obsessed climate zealots, nothing is ever enough. Net zero by 2050 is not enough. A widespread rescaling of workplace rules, set in stone in the parliament, that's not enough. And even when one of the great, if not the greatest Prime Ministers we've had, refers to men and women, it's sexist. This group of fake independents will probably fool plenty of voters at this election. They may even hold the balance of power and run this country into the sewer because of their useless and obsessive attempts to save the planet from Australia. But don't be one of those fools. Vote for anyone. Vote for anyone else. Just not a bunch of elite greenies who won't tell voters what their real mission is all about.